How old are you, and what's your biggest problem right now? Story 1. 37 and I'm going blind. I don't know how long it will take when I will be legally blind and unable to live my life with the richness, independence, and everything else I expected, but it's coming. It's a crushing inevitability. Every day that I get to see my loved ones' faces is a gift. I have cone dystrophy. It started as little falling stars in the peripheral vision of one eye and has progressed to completely blurred out central vision in that eye. In lit conditions, my eye has a noise or strobe light effects, like when a normal person looks directly into bright light. My other eye is normal for now, but will eventually go the same way. If you experience any strange symptoms with your eyes, see an optometrist right away. Too many of you are saying you have things going on that haven't been checked. I'm lucky to live in Canada, so I drove straight to the optometrist the day my symptoms started and was immediately sent to a retinal specialist and had testing done. It's a lot of detail, but so many people are asking, I thought it would be easier just to post to here. Also, thanks for all the support, you guys. It's very sweet of you all. I have a genetic predisposition to lose my vision before 60 as well. My dad has it, but he didn't know about it beforehand. He was frustrated that a lot of things were more complicated at first, but did not despair too much. Even though his blindness took him by surprise, he still reports that his life is rich and very full. He has new discoveries daily. The first ever was my mom's flower garden. He never noticed the aroma because the flowers were so pretty. Without realizing it, he only ever focused on that. I'm sorry for what lies ahead of us, and I hope you fare better than expected. What a beautiful way to reframe what most people would see as negative. I guess it's kind of amazing to be alive at all, even if sometimes it's hard to remember that. Can't believe how strange it is to be anything at all. A song lyric that really helps me in dark times to remember the wonder in the world. My husband started losing his central vision at 17, and it finally stopped progressing around 33. He lost his ability to drive, unfortunately, so I'm his main driver. He has 2 jobs, one as a front desk hotel person, and the other an office manager for a barber college. People think I'm lying when I tell them he's blind because he's managed to use tools and coping to play games, program, build PCs, fix cars, and help me raise 2 kids under 2. I'm just trying to give you a ray of hope. Humans are amazing at adapting. I hope you have a good night. Story 2. 59, and my thoughts are consumed with losing my wife and best friend. I've loved her for 42 years. I want 42 more. I read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and this part had a lasting effect on me. Once, an elderly general practitioner consulted me because of his severe depression. He could not overcome the loss of his wife, who had died 2 years before, and whom he had loved above all else. Now how can I help him? What should I tell him? Well, I refrained from telling him anything, but instead confronted him with the question, what would have happened, doctor, if you had died first, and your wife would have had to survive you? Oh, he said, for her this would have been terrible. How she would have suffered. Whereupon I replied, you see, doctor, such suffering has spared her, and it was you who spared her this suffering. To be sure, at the price that now you have to survive and mourn her. He said no word, but shook my hand and calmly left my office. In some way, suffering ceases to be suffering now it finds a meaning, such as the meaning of a sacrifice. I've read this book, and this sentence is exactly why I feel the opposite of how OP feels. I'm scared of losing my wife, absolutely. She's the best thing in my life, and the most wonderful person to walk this planet. But I'm really terrified of dying first and not being here to support her through this life experience. This feeling is what motivates me to exercise, eat well, work hard, and have a healthy life. If I can outlive her, even if just one day, we'll be okay. Story 3. I'm 62, and I'm watching my wife die day by day from pancreatic cancer. She is the love of my life, God's gift to me. I had been married before, but never have I known love until I met her. I cannot breathe. I cannot cry because I must be strong for my beautiful bride. My heart is breaking day by day. When the end comes, I cannot imagine living a day without her smile and laughter. Story 4. 37. My mother just passed away, leaving me with implied responsibility for my same-aged brother with special needs. There was no plan, despite me begging them for years to figure something out. I live 10 hours away and work full-time plus. Now I'm supposed to figure it all out. My brother also has special needs. He lives in a group home and is thriving. Your brother should have a case manager through social services for his county or city. Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare pay for all my brother's needs. He gets extra Social Security from my dad, who passed away at 60. Your brother should also be eligible. I honestly don't know how it all works either. I don't know my brother's case manager's name. I'm sorry you must work through this. 42. Lost my mother this past fall. My son, 8, also has special needs, so I've got a bit of a blend of what you're going through. Make some calls to your county or state services. I'm in New York, and he qualifies for several services, including Medicaid. It helps a lot with the cost of meds, and he can get help with counseling, transportation, in-home care when that day comes. We were floored by what's out there. It won't fix everything, of course, but it helps an awful lot. Story 5. 74 and don't really have any problems, other than knowing my time is limited. Don't buy any green bananas. Because I might die before they have time to ripen. It's an old people joke. Oh man, I hope I remember this joke when I'm a grandfather. I hope I remember it next time I roast an old person. For well over a decade, my great-grandma refused to buy the larger container of Folgers instant coffee because she was convinced she'd die before she got through it and no one else in the family drank it. Finally, her daughter, my grandma, had enough of paying more and insisted she buy it in bulk to save the money per ounce. Well, as soon as she bought the gigantic container of it, my great-grandma died in her sleep of an aneurysm. The Folgers was almost full. It's a bit of a family joke now. Story 6. 78 and knowing I'm terminal. I can handle it, but everybody else is in denial. I'm hearing lots of, after all, doctors don't know everything, do they? No, they don't, but they do know the 5-year survival rate is 1%. Now, let's all say that together, boys and girls. The 5-year survival rate is 1%. I'm sorry your support system is in denial and isn't there for you. Is there anyone you can talk about it with? Yes, I'm good in that regard. Thank you. Peace. 78 isn't a bad run. Sorry you're having to deal with your family being in denial. Sort of reminds me of a Mark Maron bit, comedian. He was talking about knowing he will die as he's getting up there and contrasting dying single versus dying with a partner. Saying how, with a partner, he would hear a lot of, "This is so horrible, oh God," or having a Jamaican nurse saying, "It's okay, baby, let go, baby." Typed out, it's not nearly as funny. He's a good watch, though, if you find yourself with a bit of spare time. Story 7. 60s, my mother has dementia, but she doesn't know it. She lives alone and can function on some level, but not without a lot of help. I am her only helper. I visit her daily and I listen to the same old tired stories about who wronged her in her life or who was perceived to have wronged her. She can't remember that I visited the day before, but she can remember the smallest slight from 40 years ago. She won't join us for holidays because my 5-year-old granddaughter with autism chose someone else to sit beside for dinner 3 years ago, and because she wasn't disciplined for that. So she stays at home alone and blames me for it. It's just so dang tiring. She's driven away all her friends because of one perceived slight or another. I'm the only one she has left, but only because I swallow my pride and take her abuse when she blasts me for a perceived slight. I don't argue with her because I keep telling myself, it's not her, it's the disease. I miss my mother, at least the one that I've known all my life. I'm looking forward to the day when she can no longer function on her own and must go to assisted living. And I feel guilty about it. We're all living longer now than we were just a few years ago, but the medical advances we've seen recently for our physical bodies just gives us more time to develop mental issues. My father passed away because his body gave out, but I always knew, even to the end, that he loved me. It is much, much harder to endure this mental decline. Story 8. I'm 42 and have terminal cancer. I've been in continuous treatment for almost 6 years. My biggest problem is that cancer treatment is freaking expensive. I did everything right, and it still all went wrong. I have 3 degrees, I had a decent job, I had a retirement account, I had an emergency fund better than most my age. I've spent all my savings. I've exhausted my resources. I don't make enough on disability to stay afloat. My credit score dropped 100 points from losing my job because my debt-to-income ratio changed. I never paid a bill late, though. I have a house payment. I have kids to raise. I'm sinking. No, drowning. Credit cards are maxed out with copays and fuel for the 5 hours round trip to treatments. My house needs repairs, but I have nothing left. I'm one vehicle breakdown from financial ruin. When my car dies, I won't be able to buy another, which will result in me losing access to treatment. I will die because the money ran out. I'm tired. I'm damaged. I'm broken. And all I want to do is be here a little longer because I love my kids so dearly and they still need me. I can't let go because they need me. It was never supposed to be like this. I did everything right. But it was all stripped from me with a diagnosis. I've watched my world crumble while I fought to stay alive. They still need me. Story 9. 42 and trying to figure out which of my problems is the biggest. I'm going with finances and depression. I hear ya. Hang in there. Thank you. I will. Looked at the comments hoping to see some people worse off than me. Maybe a bit of sadism, maybe a bit of hopefulness. I don't know. I'm just trying to find some reasons to not hate my own existence. But here we are. A couple days ago was my 43rd birthday. My finances suck. I've been depressed most of my adult life, but I'm just sad right now too. There is a difference between sad and depressed, but I'm both right now, and I don't deserve to be either. I'm healthy, I still have all my limbs and digits thanks to modern medicine, and there are people who care about me, which makes the depression just feel like even more of a failure. I hope you feel better soon. I hope I do too. Story 10. I'm 32 and my dad died a month ago. I don't know how to exist in a world that he's not in. I miss him. I'm almost 34 and my dad died at the end of 2020. It gets easier, but it will still sneak up on you sometimes, sending you love and hugs. A dad here, he wants you to live your life to the fullest. Love hard, make mistakes, joy, laughter, exercising your full potential. He wants you to love yourself as much as he loved you. I'm 44 and I lost my dad in August after 2.5 years of dementia and a TBI. I would not bring him back in the condition he was in, but I've cried every single day since July 5th, 2022, when he was diagnosed with COVID. I knew that would be the end. I had my first birthday without him last month. When I think I'm finally able to go a whole day without crying, something reminds me of him. Grief is terrible. You are not alone, my friend. Story 11. 22, figuring my future out. Same. I'm 20 and have no idea what I want to do and how. All the jobs I ever wanted are low-income ones, and the other jobs I want are extremely difficult to learn and do. It's stressful. I also don't plan on getting married or having kids now, and I'm scared to imagine how I'll live till old age, but I also don't want to get married or have kids just so someone can bring me a cup of water when I'm not able to. Thinking about the future instantly makes me depressed. But I have to now, or else I'll be stuck in my crappy low-income jobs for another decade, and then regret not figuring stuff out sooner. Thanks for listening to my rant. Have a nice day. It's an existential period. Just keep experiencing new things until something inspires you. You'll find a path. Story 12. I'm 60. My biggest problem is having to work 50 or 60 or more hours a week just to keep up with the bills. Plus, I have a bedridden wife with cancer, and we're raising our oldest grandson. As Sergeant Murtaugh once said, I'm getting too old for this crap. Sorry, man. Dang, that's a lot. Way too much. My heart goes out to you all, and I hope something turns your way soon. I'm 50 in the same boat. No retirement, wife is recovering from surgery for cancer, Don't know anyone in the town I live in, so if something happens to her, I will be lost. She's the only person I've known for the last 25 years. Story 13. I'm 48 and my son is 16. He has a muscle-eating disease called muscular dystrophy and has lost the use of his legs. His arms have weakened to the point that he can barely lift a glass, and he's in a wheelchair. He has an upcoming major surgery for scoliosis caused by the disease that will enable him completely for up to a week. He worries about it and about the disease, dying, and on top of that, he gets very depressed about not being able to do the things that other kids his age can do. I worry constantly about him, but there's nothing I can do. That's my biggest problem. He's not the problem, but the fact I can't do anything but worry. Story 14. 29. All my bills are going up, but my paycheck is not. I feel this in my soul. I had the same salary between 2019 and 2022, and I just kept getting poorer and poorer as the buying power of my salary dramatically decreased. In 2023, I got a $10,000 raise from getting a new job with 1,000% more stress and responsibility. However, I only feel slightly better off than I was at the beginning of 2019. It's incredibly depressing. The rapid inflation from COVID absolutely made my salary hike irrelevant. It's so depressing. Story 15. I'm 23. I can't afford a decent life despite having 2 jobs. I can't wear what I want or drink what I want or do what I want because of my religious dictatorship of a government. My passport is one of the lowest ranked ones, so traveling is almost impossible, and even if it wasn't because of the passport, our national money is crap. So that's that. Girls in my country are being poisoned in schools daily by our government, 300 schools today only, and people are being arrested and killed in the streets for protesting. I am Iranian, by the way. Look up our situation and help us, please. Story 16. 46. My kids won't stop getting sick. They're missing so much school. It's like their bodies have decided to just alternate weeks with different respiratory viruses. Same here. Sleep about 2 to 3 hours a night because my wife and I take shifts holding the 8-month-old up to sleep because she drowns in snot if laying down. I've been like this since October. Had like a week break in December. My 6-year-old keeps bringing stuff from school. It's never ending. Story 17. 24 and just went through the most intensive year-long battle fighting stage 4B Hodgkin's lymphoma. I won. Edit. Thank y'all so much for the kind words. Really does mean the world. With love, Schmeat. Edit part 2. After a quick sash with the devil's lettuce, I came to realize that I forgot to mention I owe it all to my loving partner, who helped me through all of it. Look out for the ones you love. Story 18. 55, live alone, work 100% from home, and have no friends and family. Stuff be lonely. 61, retired early, all my friends are still working and really have no time for me anymore. The only person I talk to is my husband. I'd like to have friends, but it seems like everyone wants to stay away from people. You're so right. Stuff be lonely. Story 19. Mid-30s, fighting my brain to stay alive, just barely winning. Stay here. We are literally all on a rock flying through space. You are not doing life wrong at all. Life can be anything you want it to be. Take one small step to make your life look like you want it to. Story 20. This thread is oddly beautiful. A reminder that none of us are alone and everyone has problems. I think so too. I meant to post my own problem, but while reading others and praying for them, I've forgotten mine. Story 21. 61, female. Relationship heartache and likely to be let go at work. I'm too old for either of these when 6 years away from retirement. Christ, that's rough. I hope you're able to exit the rat race. Story 22. 30 and saving for a house. It seems impossible, even on 2 incomes. Edit. Not in the US, but I appreciate those who have given advice. Also, the amount of people in the same boat as me is extremely depressing. Something must change. Story 23. I'm in my 40s and I drink too much and need to lose weight. I only drank 3 times in February and I've increased my daily walks, so I'm working on it. Hell yeah, good job. Story 24. 49. I'm not interested in anything. Same, I just do not care. Like, I do not care about anything. Congratulations, you're depressed. Story 25. 37. I started a new job recently that I love and am afraid I'll lose it. Not for any reason, just because I've lost the things I love so often. Now I get suspicious and anxious when things go well. Story 26. 31. Grief, anxiety, money. Never being able to afford a home, and by extension, claw my way out of poverty. I have more money now than I ever did in my life, and it still won't get me anywhere. Story 27. 36. Putting dog to rest today due to lymphoma. Edit. Thank you all. He's at peace now. Please give your pets the biggest hugs. Story 28. 31, and I'm skint with no friends and nothing to look forward to. Skint, adjective, of a person, having little or no money available. I'm a bit skint just now. Story 29. 62. My husband died suddenly on January 2nd. Now I must figure out where my life is going. I'm so sorry. Story 30. 32, and my newborn daughter passed away. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Story 31. 31, lost a job, unemployment is getting dry, cannot find new work. Please leave your stories in the comments. I'd love to make a video of them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.